In today's video, I am going to be breaking down different 5-out basketball plays that work extremely well at the youth level. Some of these plays could be as simple to be able to run with younger grade 3, grade 4, grade 5 players, while some may be better suited for grade 7s and 8s and even maybe a bit older. So let's get down, let's check out some of these plays, and let's start with the most basic and simple and then work our way up. If you would like the complete guide to the 5-out basketball offense, make sure to go check out the link down in the description below. So this first play is going to be super simple. We're not going to go to the basic pass cut, pass screen way, all that stuff. You can find that out in a trillion different areas online. But this first one is called the 5-out pin down, where we would have players 3 and 2 set pin down screens on the defenders of players 4 and 5. So after they set those screens down, we are then going to be having players 5 and 4 popping up to the wings, and then we're going to be having players 2 and 3 rolling towards the basket off of those screens. So if there was a switch that was occurring, then in this case, we may have a player who is wide open to get that layup. There may be opportunities as well for three-point shots too, if this is a three-point shooter who is popping up from those corners. This second play is extremely handy. We're going to start with our point guard, and what he is going to call, or you could change this up yourself, is, of course, I call this the staggered shooting play. So generally, I would call this play shot or 5-out shot, something where some teams will go with numbers. I like to go with what we're actually going to do with the play. So for example, we call this, or I would call this one 5-out shot, or just shot. That's what we would call it. I haven't started running this with my team this year yet, but we will be. And basically what we would do here is have player 4 set a screen up, a back screen essentially, to player 2. And after he sets that back screen, we're going to have player 5 set up the staggered down in the low post. We would then also have at the same time player 3 setting a screen for 1. Essentially, this is all we're going to be doing. We can have player 1, when he does call shot, he can say shot right, shot left. And let's say he calls shot left, that means the screen's going to be coming from his left. He's going to be using that screen, but player 2 is also going to be using those staggered screens as well. We're hoping that his defender gets stuck on one of those 2 screens so that player 1 will be able to pass to player 2 for that 3-point shot. And in fact, this play in past years has gotten players that I've coached and trained many open 3-point shots. Because I usually talk to a lot of the coaches of the players who I train, and sometimes they'll ask me for different plays, and this is definitely a play that's helped out a lot of teams for those who are running 5-out offenses. Now, if you're going up against a zone defense like this one, which is a 2-3 zone defense, what are some easy ways to beat a zone? Well, you can get that ball into the high post, which draws up that middle defender, so you can do a high to low post pass for a layup. This is the easiest way, high to low post passes. The high post is definitely a zone killer. Unless you're going up against my unbeatable basketball zone defense, which that doesn't kill it. And you can check out the zone unbeatable defense down in the description. However, basically what we're going to be having here is player 4 and 5. They are going to be most likely going to be having their defenders a bit higher when we are going up against a 2-3 zone. And what we want to see them do is have players 5 and 4. They're going to be going to the high post. At this time, player 1 needs to decide which player he needs to pass to. Let's say, for example, he passes to player 4. We're going to have players 3 and 2 then move down towards the wings, or the corners, I mean. And then when that pass gets into the high post, usually what happens is player 5 red will then cover up, and sometimes player 3, at least he should, cover down as well as player 4 because he's worried about that player. Player 5 is worried about that player, and player 3 should move in from there. Well, guess what? Player 5 can cut in front of player 3, and we should have an open high to low post pass to player 5. Now there's other options that are available too. So for example, player 5 cuts through and he's not open. Well, guess what? Player 2 moves up, player 5 clears out, and now Player 3 is going to be stuck in usually middle of no man's land. Player 3 can cut back door for the lob. We've hit that a few times, and if I'm allowed to ever put that online from my games, which we're not allowed to right now, then that would be a fantastic footage for me to teach from, because we've ran this so great so many times that we've actually had teams have to move out of their zone into a man-to-man because they just can't stop it. Now, something that is very handy in this play is the fact that we'll have these two players also, when they go up to the high post, let's say he passes to player 4 and player 2 moves down. Well, guess what? That now moves the zone like this. We can have, usually you'll have player 2 red move down. You can have player 1 find an open area of the court, and this could be a kick-out pass for a 3 as well. Again, another option that we've actually hit quite a few 3s from the wing. Now, that last play doesn't have any screens involved, and it's created my team with a lot of open baskets. Now, I coach a junior and senior varsity high school team, and these plays have been working extremely well for us. This next play can also be ran against a zone 2. However, this one does work a lot better against a man-to-man. What we are going to have is the bigger players are going to be starting up at the wings instead of the corners, and we're going to have player 1 pass over to one of those big players. When this happens, we're going to set up a staggered screen on player 2, and player 1 will go and set a staggered screen in the high post. When that happens, player 2 is going to be running off of that staggered screen, and he's going to be open, hopefully, for a 3-point shot. However, that's not the end of the play. If player 2 is not open, whether they switched off or his man was able to get around that screen, we would then have player 1 pop out, and player 4 would then, off of that screen at the same time, be rolling towards the middle of the key, where he would then be posting up his defender, whether it be a mismatch from a switch or not, because sometimes there would be a switch that would occur, and that would be definitely an opportunity for a mismatch down low. And if that's the case, definitely get that ball into the paint to be able to get that easy basket. Make sure to go check out my 5-out complete guide down in the description below. I really hope it does help your team win more games. If it does, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.